Things are speeding up. It took thousands of years to go through the agricultural revolution. It took hundreds of years to go through the industrial revolution. It took decades to go through the information revolution. Now we are on the verge of an awareness revolution, where humanity can finally use all the knowledge from all three revolutions to build something that resonates with what we are and what we are meant to be. The thing that makes me most excited is that the old order is about to die of its own cancerous excesses, and we don't even have to lift a finger to effect any real change. When this paradigm dies, humanity will have the knowledge, the means of communication, and the incentive to start a new paradigm where humanity can rise to its highest and best self. Until that day, we have helped awaken and change lives of thousands of people all over the world. We are in the process of creating generational wealth, both in terms of real tangible assets, but more importantly, living a life fully awake and totally free.
So where do all these newly awakened people go? The only choice that seems to be out there is to basically become John Rambo, buy a cabin in the woods, stock up on food, and polish your guns waiting for the zombie apocalypse to come. While the collapse of the dollar is certainly going to be the single largest event in human history that will result in a massive upheaval throughout the world, it is not going to be equally bad everywhere and all at once. The greatest asset the awakened people have is their ability to see the world as it is and stay ahead of the crowd and out of the impact zone. The problem that most people have when they become aware is that they're probably surrounded by hundreds of good-natured people who are not awake. While this may not be very dangerous now, it can be when this all goes down. Most awakened people resign themselves to figuring that they'll just have to figure out what to do with their friends and family when the time comes. Most people are in our lives by happenstance. They happen to be family. They happen to work with you. They happen to be your neighbor. This makes us deal with people in our life that we probably share nothing intellectually with. Inane conversation about inane things make up the most of our lives. The only stimulation we get is the witty banter on websites like this, with people who you don't even know. The people that have the same resonating energy as you are spread out all over the world, hiding behind clever screen names. I thought long and hard about this problem, and I figured if I could get all these awakened people together, we would not only stand a much greater chance of survival, but a community of kindred spirits rallied around personal liberty would also have some amazing economic results. History has shown that countries and communities that have the most freedom produce the greatest wealth. Then the wheels in my head started spinning. How can we get these aware and prepared problem solvers to come out of the woodwork? I spent a great deal of time researching and ultimately casting a wide, intellectually honest net out into the world, with the Sons of Liberty Acedemy, Don't Tread on Me, and now The Greatest Truth Never Told on YouTube. I did this first to prove that I was not the only one that thought like I did, but it has grown into something much larger and powerful than that. If it was possible for one man to find total freedom from the system, what could a few hundred or a few thousand like-minded individuals do? Could we create a community of the opposite consciousness of this debt and death paradigm? A community built on honest money and honest people? A community that has sustainable energy, food, and shelter? A decentralized community with voluntary cooperation and non-aggression? What would it take to create a community like that? This has been my drive for the past few years. I knew that a good idea was nothing without wider awareness and acceptance. My articles and videos have touched over 1.5 million people in this world, of which 30,000 people have joined the Sons of Liberty Acedemy. I knew that this idea needed further refining, so I started the Silvershield report, to not only work on the intellectual foundation of what that future aware and prepared community would look like, but also to have a cover charge to filter those from those that passively agree with me to those that actively want to be the change in the world that they want to see. The Silvershield report now has a community of 350 members, which is pretty amazing considering that came from 1.5 million people. After 9 months and 40 Silvershield reports, we are done with the intellectual foundation and we're ready to move into the next phase of virtual meetings. The idea is to build interpersonal relationships and trust to eventually establish a physical community and business ventures. From there, we can set about creating what I believe will be the most successful community in human history. I know that is a very bold statement, but when you know the quality of people, skills, and the real tangible assets this community already has, along with the intellectual foundation for the freest and fairest societal operating system, I believe that there's nothing that this group can't do.